And back to snowing. And my magnolica is done. It happens every year. Just when she tries to bloom, the frost comes, the cold temperatures. Every year, it never fails. And a cold returned to my part of world. Windy, chilly 22 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going for a little walk towards my favorite lake. Let's see what kind of changes we will find there. Yeah, you see it right. The snow. Here we are. And the geese are sounding the alarm. Intruders coming! Welcome to new video, my friends. Little bit of talk and maybe sharing a story from this week, from my life. Because that's what this channel is. My life, things I do. I share my happy moments, but also my struggles. So today it's going to be a little bit of everything. Both worlds. Both sides of my roller coasters. We will be up and then down. So I came across the question someone who was just about to enter 50s asked. Is 50 just a number? What are 50s all about? Are there really such a big changes? And I would say yes, they are. And maybe it's like that for both men and women, but for women, definitely. Because we are going through this, as they call it nicely, a change of life. Lots of things change. There are women or people, now even gentlemen included, who are honest to admit it. And then there are ones who try to just project maybe the happy phase and claim that it's the best part of their life. And I just cannot see it like that. Because my best part, my best years, are the years of past. Not that the reality of my life is now not at the level where I can say it's the best what I can have and what I can do. But it's that wear and tear of not only the body but also a mind that daily reminds me things are different. So my answer would be 50 might be a number, and maybe for me 50 was still just a number. But after 55 and now at 57, it's a different cup of coffee. I'm drinking tea. So a story from this week. I went to see actually a doctor. I mean a doctor. MD was behind his last name, not the nurse practitioner. And to me it was privilege. It was experience I was actually more excited about, because this doctor was of the late age. I would say well into late 70s. Now, at some professions, this could be past the best time. The client is already there in 70s. But when it comes to a doctors, I judge that differently. Because when I see a doctor at that age, that's when I know it's an individual with years and years of experience. So he has seen a lot. He has met many different patients and dealt with many different problems. So right there, I sort of feel I can have more trust in his treatment or judgment. I had to go to see this doctor, because as unpredictable my life and my health is, Monday my left foot became swollen, changed in a color, something very unusual. And when it's something very unusual, because lots of things I can deal with, those are the known facts and factors and problems. But if something new on this caliber emerges, I think one wants to see a doctor. So I come to the office. After filling up the paperwork, sitting in the office, the examination room, the nurse comes who does my vitals, asks me the reason why I came, and then she walks me into another room where the doctor was sitting on a low chair. I could see a cane beside him, and he had computer screen in front of him, but he was not typing. He had another nurse who was behind computer, ready to type everything as I was saying. You know, this is how the doctors work right now, and that's actually many times a problem, because you try to talk to them, explain your issue, your problem, and they don't even look at you because they have to be typing. Cannot sometimes even blame them, because those are the new requirements. But the old-time doctors, as I call them, who used to just scribble with a pen on a paper, my doctor in Canada, my dear doctor, would always still write me receipts on a paper, scribble down in the chart with my name each time I went to visit. You know, the handwriting of a doctor, how they used to be famous for. So he is not typing, he is not writing, but he is looking at me, and he looks straight into my eyes. I mean, he looked inside me, probably even in my soul. It was very intense. I looked straight back into his eyes because I had this hope that this man was going to help me, that this man was gonna come with a different approach than a dose of antidepressants that I've been offered now for years from different nurse practitioners. So I start saying, after the little introduction, that I will try to get to the point because I tend to be a little dramatic and try to explain things in quite a few words. But I had to give him some kind of picture of what I'm dealing with. So started a little bit, maybe talking more than he would want to hear. He still keeps looking at me as I'm talking, and I'm looking in his eyes. It was a really different experience. And then I guess it was time in his mind to stop me. So he goes, "Why are you here today?" Just like that. "Why are you here today? What do you want from me?" I said, "I am here because my foot is swollen." He goes, "Okay, let's put the foot here on a desk." Just like that. So I took my boot, sock, put the foot there. He goes, "Other foot." Compare them. Look towards the nurse, and he ordered ultrasound. The ultrasound to determine if there was a blood clot, ultrasound was done, luckily, from the what the esthetician, technician told me was she had nothing really negative to report to a doctor, no blood clot. Thank God. Everything just fell off me. So while we were locked into this intense stare, I asked him, "Do you think I'm depressed?" Without hesitation, he said, "No." I asked him, "Are those antidepressant pills, the tablets that were prescribed to me even now, recently, are they going to cure me, or are they there just to mask and cover up the problem like a band-aid?" Without hesitating, he said, "Yes." No smile, nothing. Straight face like that. So then I thought of all these visits with different nurse practitioners in the past, where I was told I was depressed, and the happy pills were a must for me to go on, to function again, to be whole. Gosh, do I have just some special extra sense in me that I just could never touch it and bring myself to this route of treatment. And even right now, even if it was the last option to some kind of recovery, I still wouldn't. So that was the difference between meeting this gentleman, older gentleman, a doctor, and anybody else I have met here in United States of America. But what is my really point here? In my previous decades of my life, 40s, 30s, 20s, I hardly knew what it was to go to a doctor. I hardly knew what it was to worry about changes in my health. I definitely was not having tools like this as my new toys, something that is used quite often, if you don't know, to measure blood pressure. Because when I feel the changes, this blood pressure can be going up and down. I mean, from low to high, from high to low. And it doesn't make feel one really whole and happy. So the 50s are a really different decade of my life. And maybe some of you can relate and you have your own stories and experiences to share. 58 in few months, and then 60 will come. And if I live to 60s, I just wonder what is that going to be about. So as I said before, acceptance, discipline, and no fear. Being brave is the only way to go as the years go by. Still focus on what I have. There is lots of healthy things about me. I treasure it. I maintain it with eating good food, with moving my body. You see me getting out there. We cannot stop. We have to keep moving. And we have to really measure twice or 3 times what we put in our mouth. There is enough information everywhere to educate ourselves what is good for us to put into our system in our 50s. We cannot complain that there is not enough information. Doctors will not teach us. Doctors will not. But it's up to us to take a charge. So I share with you also the little outdoors. I tried, but believe me, the winter returned to my part of world. Boy, it came viciously, out of nowhere back to frost. There were some changes in the yard. The outdoors looked slightly different again, just like it was in the past, few weeks back. But it's short-lived. It's April after all. And a warmer and greener and more colorful world is just around the corner. That's it for today. You know, I have this thing that when my video, the last video I make, reaches over 100 views, then I said to myself, I'm gonna make a new one for my friends who like to come, see me, know how I'm doing, or who love to see some outdoors, or cute dear Lucy. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Lucy, come on. Hi. Hi, Puddy, hi.
Lucy. What is that? Puddy. Puddy cat. Lucy. Lucy. What is there? What big eyes?